Welcome to Hospitality on the Rise, the podcast about the people shaping the hospitality industry and their journeys. I'm your host, Alice Cheng, founder and CEO of Culinary Agents, hospitality's go-to hiring platform, and I'm here to give you your dose of virtual mentorship. Here, we'll be sharing the stories, lessons learned, and advice from hospitality leaders who've carved out their own path to success. After all, this industry is where many get their start and go on to do incredible things. Whether you're a pro, starting out, or just love the hustle, this podcast highlights what makes hospitality extraordinary: the people. So excited to have Chef Dominique Ansel with us here today. He is the chef and owner of Dominique Ansel Bakery, Dominique Ansel Workshop, Dominique Ansel Las Vegas, as well as Dominique Ansel Marché, and the upcoming Papa d'Amour, New York. So we'll hear more about that. Very, very excited for that project. He's the inventor of the Cronut. If you have never had a chance to taste this Cronut, you are missing out. Please make that a priority. And the James Beard Foundation Award-winning Pastry Chef 2014, outstanding pastry chef, as well as several other accolades. I don't want to forget also 2014 Crane's 40 Under 40, and 2014 Vanity Fair named him one of the 50 most influential French chefs. I think we forgot the word chefs in my notes here. But with that, Dominique, we've seen your rise. The Cronut has been a game changer in many different ways. But how did it all get started? Take me back
Thank you.
to the very beginning. When did you decide that hospitality was going to be for you?
Thank you, Alice, for having me on the show first. Well, it all started in 2011, actually, when I first opened the bakery. At the time, I was living at Daniel Bolu, to start my first business. And a lot of people told me that it would not work, that pastry was not going to sell in New York City, that a lot of French chefs have tried, and it was too difficult. I will sell sandwiches and cupcakes. And of course, I don't like to listen to bad advice. And I always want to open my own business with my own visions, with my own like style of pastry. And I left Danielle to open my own bakery on Spring Street. So at the time, I only had 4 employees and my girlfriend with me, who is now the mother of my child, of my kids. So we started with the two of us with 4 employees only. We didn't have much. We only had our savings, and we put like sweat and tears into that bakery every single day until the day where we want to do something special for Mother's Day. We created this little pastry that resembles, that is kind of a hybrid between a croissant and donut. It was a cronut we put on the menu without much expectation. It was just a good product. And I remember the blogger came by, snapped a photo, put it on his blog at the time on his website, and the article went viral. And I remember him calling me and telling me like my article went viral. I was like, was great, I sleep 4 hours a night. I have what viral means. Like, what do you mean your article went viral? He said, oh, we had an increase of 300% of traffic on our website and over 140,000 links in the same article in just a couple hours. So it was like, listen, you should make a few more for tomorrow. This thing's gonna be big. I was like, yeah, sure. Like I made 30 today, I'm gonna make 45 tomorrow, which I did. Little did I know, by day 3, we had over 150 people lining up on the street before we even opened the doors. And I
Wow.
couldn't and really understand what was happening. And then we saw that was, you remember, it was like pre social media age.
Yes.
So like
I remember meeting with you in the back garden of the Soho location, back
we
in
had
the
live
back in the early
television
days.
reporting, like we had like the study sitters, we had like this crazy line outside. We had to hire a security to manage the line outside. People were fighting. It was just madness. It was like so overwhelming that I didn't know where to go and what to do. And we decided to focus on two things: hospitality and the quality of the food we're serving, regardless of the demand. Like we want to keep the quality and increase slowly, but with always respecting the quality of the product.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. And I think we can have a whole show just about the Cronut and but when I said take me back to the beginning, I meant how did you get started in hospitality?
This beginning.
Yeah, that was the beginning of the Cronut, which we will get back to and elaborate. But I think it's also, really important to share kind of how you came up to that point, to the Cronut.
So I grew up in a very humble family. My dad was a factory worker. My mom stayed home taking care of 4 kids. A cousin lived with us. My grandmother lived with us, along with like dogs, cats, and you name it. So we're living off like a factory worker salary to try to get food and get by every month. It was not easy, but I had a fairly decent childhood. At age of 16, I couldn't go to school. My parents couldn't afford it, so I decided to find a job to help support family. And I thought that maybe cooking will be, I enjoy like being in the kitchen when my mom was messing up dinners. So I thought like maybe I could cook. And I walk into that restaurant. I ask for for a job while going to school, and they give me a job. And I was learning at the same time. And I'll tell you, my first year, I hated it. I hated working in the kitchen. I was going in fear of people abusing every sense of the way, like a person, like physically, mentally, morally. It was tough. It was very very
It was a
hard.
different time.
It was different time. None of these things will be allowed today. And I was lucky enough that by year two that a new younger chef bought the restaurant I was working in, and he started showing me and teaching me how to appreciate and how to love what I was doing, and my whole perspective like changed that day. I think there was like an eye opening for me into like what how beautiful this craft is, and how even though it's hard, there's a lot of like good things that come out of it, meaning like bring people, cooking good food, and respecting ingredients. It's a beautiful industry. So I started in a restaurant for 2 years as a savory chef. So I only did cooking for 2 years, which I loved. And I still love cooking as much as I love baking. And then I decided to pursue my learning experience by going to bakery. I want to learn a little more about pastry, and I love the science. I love the crafts. I love the being artistic with baking. I love like measuring and scaling everything precisely, and I love how like everything that comes out, if you're careful, it comes out like perfect every single time. So I decided to focus on baking, and then after that I did my military service, which was still mandatory at the time. So I went. I of course I didn't stay like do the normal path. I went to French Guiana, which is in South America, just above Brazil, and I stayed there for a year. And I was teaching locals how to cook in the kitchen because I had a diploma, and there was some sort of like validation for them to be able to find a job after that training with me. So that was a great time. I was teaching, and when I came back, I didn't want to stay home. I just wanted one thing. I want to go to Paris. I want to work for the best with the best, and regardless of where I was going to end up, like I want to go to the capital of France, and I want to go work for the best. So I found like two small jobs in the beginning, eventually walk into Fauchon, Fauchon, which is one of the most emblematic was now it's closed. One of the most emblematic like pastry shop retail. They're selling spices, exotic fruits, vinegars, lots of like fun stuff with a very high end quality. I worked there with my resume. Had a job for 4 months. I ended up staying for 8 years. So when I left, I was the corporate pastry chef opening shops for them around the world. That
Yeah.
was an amazing experience. It's more than a professional experience. I think it's more like a life experience. And after that, Daniel Boulu called me to be his pastry chef in New York. And when Daniel called,
When Danielle calls, you go.
here you go.
That's funny. It's fun. I'm saying it's funny because I'm finding, an a common thread for a lot of the leaders that I'm, talking to, with, Chef DB is a common thread, which is amazing, right? That says a lot in general about leadership and mentorship and opportunity. Okay, so now you're going to New York, but with your experience at Fauchon, I remember I didn't know that they closed. I remember them just having really beautiful packaging and marketing and kind of, I don't want to say they're original, but I remember them also having the bakery, but then also retail. And I don't know if it was that common back then, but um, that certainly was something that, I think expanded and extended their brand into far beyond just their shops.
Yeah, they did. They were pretty. They had a huge presence internationally.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they filed for bankruptcy a few years ago. They still have the hotel brand, the hotel division
Mhm.
of the brand, so it's not completely gone, but the retail side is that.
Yeah, well, it makes a lot of sense that a lot of that experience prepared you for, a lot of the things that came after, right? So now you're in New York, chef called and you're here.
Yes, I came to New York with two suitcases. I had folded like everything back in France, and I came with a bunch of like photos in my suitcase, some clothes, and I started working for Danielle. So I was excited. I love the city. I love New York City. I love
Was that
everything.
your first time here?
No, I had been here like 2 or 3 times, so I knew a little bit the city, but I love the energy. I love everything about it. And during all my first couple of years in the restaurant, I always told myself I love working in bakery. I will never go back to a restaurant. And when Daniel called me, I came. So I worked for Daniel for 6 years. We earned the third Michelin star together, best restaurant of the world, and it's amazing what a team can do. Um, it was a lot of learning as well for me. I mean, I believe like one of the kind of person that believes that you keep learning for your whole life, and no matter where you are, what you do, you keep learning about yourself or the people around you. And I've learned so much with and while I was at Daniel for sure. Like I still describe it as my family. When I go back for Thanksgiving, I go back to Daniel. When I go back to the restaurant, I go back home.
Yeah, and not only receiving the third Michelin star during that time, but also 4 stars New York Times,
That's
right?
right.
Yeah, amongst many other accolades. So you're there for how many years? For quite some time.
What it is, yeah.
And then at what point were you like, okay, I'm ready to do my own. So now we're cutting back for those who are following along. Now we're cutting back to the beginning of the Cronut. No. So were
So
you thinking about
I don't think anyone is ever ready to make that jump to go from being an employee to be an employer. It's a huge like step. Uh, Especially for our industry, for being a chef, nothing and no one can prepare you enough. There's a lot of things you don't know. There's a lot of things you'll have to figure out by yourself, or like hopefully with like people around to help you. But it's a journey, it's amazing because when you're a chef, you worry about your menu, you worry about your team, worry about the quality of the food you do. When you're a business owner, you worry about everything, about the bathroom breaking, about the computer going down, about
social
suddenly
media?
giving you a ticket because the sidewalk is not clean. About social media now, yes, and about a lot more. So it's a different job. You have to inspire people, you have to motivate people, you have to show them the vision, and you have to get them to do the things you cannot do because you can't do it alone. You need a team. You need to build a team. You need people around you, people that are better at things than you are. Sometimes I can't do it all myself. I have an amazing team around me, and I wouldn't be here without them.
Yeah, yeah. No, I wholeheartedly agree. And you've built such a brand. That's another, I would say, burden to bear is that your brand is your brand. I mean, your bakeries, your workshop, your restaurants, have your name on it.
And it's a lot, it's a lot of responsibilities. Like we don't do like small things or things that we're not part of. We When we pair with someone, it can be like we can work for a charity or do a chef collaboration with someone or with another brand. Like we work with the best because we do high end quality. We don't do just like mass.
Yeah, yeah, and it shows for those of you who have had any of your products. I'm sure they would attest to that as well. So you have this one shop. Your Cronut is everywhere. We like to say overnight success, but we all know about the sweat and tears that go into the work and the process and the follow up. Take me through kind of growth, right? Because now you have this kind of unexpected, probably hoping for, but unexpected, um, seemingly overnight situation, and you have to prepare and grow.
Yeah, so growth it came through a lot of different forms. First, it was all the industrials that want to mass produce the Cronut and ship it around the world. There's something, I always tell people, my dad worked in a factory and I don't want to own a factory. It's not why I set up to like work in this industry. I love the craft. I really love what I do in terms of pastry. Being able to create, being able to like give people an experience, being able to like share good food is such like a, you know, it is an amazing opportunity like to express yourself and also to like to do good things around you. And I didn't want like mass produce my product. Growth after that, we had tons and tons of opportunities. We still have quite a bit. We're very selective with what we do. Still, to protect our brand, to preserve what we build, I think it's important. We've opened shops in Japan, London, Los Angeles. Unfortunately, like many other chefs, like many other restaurateurs, like who got hit with COVID, and the reality of things is that when it's too bad, like people you partner with don't always follow you or don't always like support or can't always support what's happening. So we had to close those locations. Right now we're still in Las Vegas. So we are in Las Vegas. We opened after COVID actually, and it's they're doing great. They're doing amazing. They're doing very good quality. Our partner, Caesar's Palace, is like very supportive. Like only good things that come out of Vegas, and I'm surprised I didn't know it was ever a place where we'll be. But after like knowing the city a little bit and seeing what's happening, it's a great city for food. Some of the best chefs in the world are in Las Vegas, and when you see the quality of the food they come out with, it's just amazing. You wouldn't think of Vegas. People, I think mostly like think of Vegas as a party city, as a place to go to gamble. But the food scene is like very impressive. Not on the street, but also off the street. There's a lot of great small restaurants.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely I don't know if it's just in the past 10 plus years, but it's more of a dining destination, more and more so. And then all the other fun stuff too, but so and you have a new project that's coming up in New York.
Yes, so a new project. We're opening a third bakery in New York City. It's called Papa d'Amour. So the story goes like my girlfriend at the time when we had the bakery, and now my wife, Amy, who is the heart of our business. I wouldn't be here without her. She's powerful, strong. She's smart, creative. She's everything. So she's Asian. So our kids are a little bit of French, a little Asian, a little American, a mix of culture, which is amazing. And it's hard to find, I think nowadays your identity and like connect with your roots. At home we speak French, we speak Chinese, and we speak English, of course. And we also eat the same. We eat French, we eat Chinese, and we eat a little bit of every culture. And this new concept is a nod of our family. For our family, it's a little bit French and a little Asian bread culture. So it's going to be kind of like a mix and kind of a fusion of ideas, but always done on a very elegant way. So we're gonna bring up the best of both worlds by presenting that kind of bakery. And Papa d'amour in French means loving dad, which is what my kids call me when they need something.
That's lovely. I'm very excited for that because I'm Taiwanese and I know that the Asian bread has that like chewy, bouncy, soft
Yeah, the textures are
version.
different.
Yeah.
It's very exciting for me, but I'm a little bit. First time, I will say I'm a little bit nervous because I grew up with all the classic foundations of French cuisine and pastry, which are really really strong. But you look at Asian bread culture, it's different. It's different because the recipes are different, the ingredients are different, the techniques are different. So like I've been actually cooking Taiwanese food at home for the last 15 years since I've been with my wife, and I'm learning so much. I'm learning so much, and I grew this love for understanding Asian culture and Asian bread, Asian food in general. When you're French, we break it down. In French pastry chef, we explain everything, the science behind every ingredients, the techniques, and what you do, how you do it, all the fundamentals. When you look at Asian recipes, there's nothing explained. There's this mom at home cooking, and you put a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Everyone has their own recipes, and at the end, it tastes great. But there's no, there's no Bible, there's no books, there's no recipes, there's no like nothing that explains it. I've been working so with the recipes. I'm like scratching my head. I'm like, why these people like not just they just don't know. They just don't know like the science behind it. Not everyone, but most people like can't. They just show you what they feel like doing, and it's a recipe from my great great grandmother that gives it to like 4 generation later. Like, okay, I have this recipe. I guess this is how they're doing, and it's fascinating because I have to break it down to the level of which I work, which is like scientifically like explaining each of the steps, learning about the starch, the flours, and
Yeah.
any other ingredients.
I was it's funny, I'm not like I enjoy to cook. My father is a really great home cook and he used to make these childhood things that I've been craving recently and I was like, "Oh, I want to try to make that," right? Because I want my daughter to taste some of the stuff. I'm like, "Can you tell me can you give me a recipe?" And he's like, "Yeah, add some water." And I'm like, "What?"
How much?
I'm like, "What? Yeah, okay." And he's like, "No, just add it slowly. Make sure it's warm." I'm like, "What temperature?" "Warm." Not hot, not cold, warm. I'm like, "Okay." And then add a little bit more, but a little hotter. I'm like, so this is and I love it because I mean, oftentimes that's also how, recipes get passed down anyway, but I could see that being something that is very culturally like, this is just how you do it.
But it's fascinating because I think there's so much beauty and art, and there's so much complexity to Asian cuisine in general that like I'm not intending to live like a I want to make sure we respect every steps and every part of the culture, Asian or French, and pairing both of them with taste, that's the most complex thing to do. Of course, you don't want to like put like a matcha and sesame everywhere, but you can utilize those ingredients like delicately, like carefully, where you still like bring both cultures together.
Yeah, and you've already created a brand around innovation as well, right? So people are just looking to you to do like the next, innovative thing. And so I think that this is kind of a culmination of a lot of what you just said, things that you've been inspired by and what you've been doing for the past several years. And I was going to ask you, how do you keep learning and growing and in what you're doing?
I think it's by doing things like this, challenging myself to, explore other cultures, other part of the world that I haven't before. Um, when it comes to food, for me, it's always like people ask me, how do you create? Like for me, it's always like, how do you connect with people? That's how I create. How do you connect with like the childhood memories, even though you didn't have the same childhood? How do you like understand you know, what's good for them? Sometimes it can be like a texture, sometimes it can be flavor, sometimes it can be a moment in time. And how do you like through those like emotions and these childhood memories create something new. The best example for me, so I always talk about it, is the frozen s'mores. So it's our ice cream version of a s'mores. I created it just after the Cronut, and it's an ice cream version of a s'mores where we take a vanilla ice cream, we wrap it with chocolate wafer, a little bit of sea salt, honey marshmallow. So it's honey marshmallows on the outside. We stab this on a branch, and a widowwood branch is smoked with apple wood. So it smells like campfire, and we torch it in front of people. So not only like you kind of recognize it, it's a s'mores. It's been torched in front of you. It caramelizes just as you watch it. When you bite into it, it's chewy, it's crunchy, it's cold, it's warm, it's salty, it's everything, all the contrast,
Is I'm like getting hungry.
all the flavors you can like imagine, and it's amazing because it's I didn't grow up with s'mores. When I came to America in 2006, I barely knew what it was. I learned about it. I learned about the connection with people, how every kids in America like grow up like making s'mores and what it means to them. Getting around campfire with your friends, your family. So it was a beautiful creation. I think even more so beautiful when I brought it to Japan, when we sold over 1,000 every single day. And when s'mores as an item went viral in Tokyo, I was like, what's happening here? It is amazing because I'm a French man who grew up in France. I came here, I was like almost 30. I learned about American culture. I like translated into like a creation that was important for the locals. And I brought it to complete different continent, different country, and people loved it so much. And they love, it's small, it's portable, it's fun, it's tasty, it's everything you can dream of. And like playing across these like cultures and generations and childhood memories and bring to something new. It's amazing when you have a chance to do that.
Yeah, and it's delicious. I can attest to that. I've had my fair share of your s'mores. And since the workshop is closer to me, to where I typically am, I love the specials that come out. So that's you've definitely, I would say, have mastered the combination of social media slash um I don't even know what to call it. It's like promotion, like in time. Like this is coming, come get it. It's like because I'll run over there and it'll be sold out, and I'll be like, so I
Yeah,
was
well,
like,
that's
oh, but I think part of that is I was gonna ask you kind of what would you say while you're growing your brand and your businesses and your teams? What are some of the, or maybe just one of the challenges that you kind of take a step back at and are constantly working on?
I think it's always the same. It's building a team. It's a constant effort. Like generations are changing, people's like patience is changing in our industry. So we have to captivate our team. We have to stay close to them. You have to challenge them, but keep them excited at the same time. It's a constant work that you have to do with the people around you. It's hard. Working in our industry is hard. When you have high standard, it's high. It's not easy, but when you do it with like with taste, and when you show people that they're growing, they're learning, they're part of it, when you make them feel involved, it changes things. So building a team is always the hardest, and I think it will always be, because like I said in the beginning of this interview, like I cannot do it alone. We need to build a team. It's like a sports team. I always tell my team, I never play sport team, but I can't do it without you. I need every single of you in your station, in your position to make it work with the quality and the volume that is required to make this place work.
Yeah, I would say add that to, you know, running the business and being the brand and creating and innovating, absolutely is a crucial part of anyone's success,
Yeah, lots
really.
of different hats.
Yes.
For sure.
That's why we have culinary agents. Um, and with that said, we heard about what's next. I'm very excited. Do you have a date? It's coming,
It's coming
spring-ish,
soon.
soon. Okay.
Beginning of May, we'll be ready.
Beginning of May. And I don't want to overlook, but I know you're also an author. You have several books as well. And if I had to take a wild guess, you probably have another book coming down the pike at some point, right? So
We
we'll
have
look forward
we
to
have three cookbooks right now. We're always working on something new, so
always
not,
working on
not
something new.
not a book yet, but always new things coming up.
I love it. So with that, we're gonna go into quick fire. What advice would you tell your younger self?
Keep going, you're doing the right thing. I'm lucky when I look back. I think I was very mature early on. I had like three older siblings growing up, and I always observe them and watch them making mistakes or making silly things or hurting themselves, or and I always like, I think like deep inside, like knew what was good or not, or where what I want to do. So keep going is the best advice I would give myself, regardless of the challenges.
What's your advice for someone struggling in the industry?
Keep going. It's hard. It is hard. There's no easy job. If you want to work for the best, expect like expectation to be high. Expect to work harder than anyone else in the kitchen. Expect to be humble and to keep on learning from people around you. And it's not an easy industry, but it's a beautiful one. And once you get through it, once you gain more confidence, more skills, it's amazing the things you can do.
What's your advice for fellow hospitality leaders?
I think not to live without baggage. I think we all of us learn different ways. I've learned tough ways. It's not the way I work in my kitchen. I will never want anyone in my kitchen to live what I lived in my time in the kitchen. I want it to be better, and it's for us to be flexible and adapting to the new generation. They're different. They learn differently, they work differently, and you have to be smarter about it. So you have to be smart. And yes, it's hard to, you don't want to lower your standards, you don't want to compromise too much, but there's a medium between the two, between the new generation that wants to learn a certain way and to the things that we've done in our generation. So it's always a push and pull, but there's something in between.
And with that, thank you so much, Chef Dominique. I'm very excited, very fortunate to have known you for, over a decade, and to support and watch your businesses grow. And, I really appreciate you sharing your advice and timeline with us.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you so much for your time today, and always big fan of Culinary Agent.
Remember, success looks different for everyone in hospitality. No two paths are the same. If you have a leader or a topic you want to hear about, email media@culinaryagents.com. Hospitality on the Rise is brought to you by Culinary Agents, connecting top talent with employers since 2012. Whether you're hiring or looking for your next opportunity, join us at culinaryagents.com. For more inspiration, subscribe to Hospitality on the Rise and visit hospitalitycareerpaths.com, a free platform by Culinary Agents. Until next time, keep rising!